Going on. So see, different default pages that has been created. You will see the first one was obviously the My Self-Service page. Although I have some customization on this My Self-Service page where I have these gadgets and these items popping up here. Uh, so these are gadgets and these are some categories as well. So if you see, this is
Mm,
a search category. This is a Can We Help You category. So this is
mm,
basically part of service catalog that you offer to your consumers, right? So if
mm,
you see this service catalog, Can We Help You? You present to your consumer something like create incident, right? So
mm,
when you do create incident, when you hit this, it will open up the form that will take some inputs from the user and then take the user onto the incident form. Right? So we have an incident form that we saw yesterday, right? And that incident
mm,
form we could access via we could access it from going into the application navigator and typing in incident, right? And then you have to click on
mm,
create new to get that form opened up, right? But think from the
mm,
since this is since you are an administrator, you get to see all this. But think from the perspective of a user. If a user has to create this incident, right? He may or may not, all of the users may or may not have that access to the form. So there could be another way of doing that is get some service catalog item like this create incident here, fill out some of the information, by taking it from the user, and then you get another view of that incident form. See, it is the same incident form, but if you have noticed, there is one view here which is self-service view, right?
mm,
So what you are doing is you are utilizing the same incident form, but then you created a view for that incident form, and that view is a minified version of the incident form there, and the user can go ahead and put in these information here and submit to create incident. The moment the user submits it, a new incident record will be created with all the details that he has supplied, right? So
mm,
let's copy this incident number, which is incident 120, and let's update it. Right. So remember this was self-service form that we saw, self-service view that we saw. Now I am going to the
mm,
incident area, the incident record area, and then I'll go ahead and search on the basis of incident number. When I search on the basis of incident number, I get that result here, and when I open it, I see a different view which has much more fields here, right?
yeah.
So
Mm,
basically, you gave your users a choice of using a self-service view where you had limited fields. You were allowing users to fill only the mandatory portions or only those things which is required input from the user side, and basis that you will create your incident. And in another view, you will get all the detailed information there. Right?
mm,
So, so there are various ways of representing same thing, right? The idea is to here on the self-service page, the idea is to populate the most relevant items to the user and the most in the most easiest way, right? How efficiently we can
mm,
do that, right? So that's the
mm,
idea for the self-service page. So likewise, if you go ahead in the password reset, right? So
mm,
think from the perspective you were working, you went to your office and then you were starting work, but when you tried to log in on your PC, right,
mm,
your password
yeah.
did not work, right? If the password is not working, what will you do? You will, and you cannot reset it, right? So that's the
Right.
case. If you are unable to reset it, you will talk to your IT team or help desk team, whosoever is serving you in this regard, and you will request an incident created and say that this password has to be reset, right? If that is a process. If there is
Mm,
no ticket required for password reset, you will simply ask to reset or unblock the password from the backend. And IT team will do that and you will be able to log in, right?
right.
But people are, if people have this kind of request, and for that request, you might have password reset functionality here within the service catalog item that you can go ahead and utilize this. For example, you will go ahead and provide the information of the user, right?
Mm,
And You may, and this is not just system. This is also asking about what application password do you need to reset, right? So you can pick a list of applications available. Let's assume this is a very dummy BlackBerry password that I need to reset, and then you you need to get the password on email, telephone, or SMS, right? And you submit that, a record for this will be created. So this is automated password reset or recovery feature that we are talking about here, right? So stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that you can
Yeah.
provide to your people so that your help desk people and your day-to-day users of your IT system will have ease in using all the IT system, right? That's
Right.
why that's why we call ServiceNow as IT, so ERP for IT. It's an enterprise resource planning for IT, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it contains all of the stuff that you will require in your IT enterprise on a day-to-day basis, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we may call it as ERP for IT. Right? So
Mm-hmm.
the idea was
Mm-hmm.
to talk about these categories that we have. Now, if you create a new application or a new form or a new record producer, these other terms we'll be discussing later. You might associate those record producers or forms or application here on a particular category. See,
Mm-hmm.
like we talked about yesterday, there was a marketing application that I said it is a custom application that I built, and related to that, I also created an item here which is add employee record. So this goes into this marketing event application, but then to the user it gives an item in the service catalog. See, within the service catalog, you have this can we help you category, and within the can you help you category, you have this add employee record form opening up for the user, right?
Yeah.
Alternatively, the add employee record will also be found here. You can go ahead and add attendees here, right? Give you the first name, last name, marketing event, etc. Right, and you will be able to do that. Right. So to better
Mm-hmm.
organize, to leverage your customers doing what you want them to do, you can associate those forms and category forms to these categories on the home page. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So, so that was one of the pages, the self-service page. Let's go into other pages. I'll go to system administration page. If you go to system administration page, and this page can be viewed if you are a system administrator, right? Then here are the blocks or the cards that you read, and these cards are related to system administration. These are the things that you would be typically doing as a system administrator, right? You play with the user interface. How do you want your users to look at this interface? How do you want this interface to look like, right? Then as
Mm-hmm.
an administrator, you will do user administrator where you can go ahead and create users, groups, and their roles, right? Reporting and analytics is another feature where you'll be contributing as a system administrator, right?
Mm-hmm.
If integration if this system ServiceNow system is to be integrated to any third-party system or a third-party data source, use this block of integration to see what it can do for you, right? Customizing home pages, customizing emails, creating and deploying applications, data management, diagnostics, business logic, basic setup, and some summary of 10 things. So this is basically a tour of them, right? So this
Mm-hmm.
system
Yeah.
administration page gives you an idea of what you can do as a system administrator. So you can see all these items and maybe you can explore this as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday we didn't see this gear button, which is slightly below the bigger gear button here. So this is
Yeah.
basically a refresh interval. So if you leave this page after some time, it will automatically refresh itself, right? So that's the refresh interval we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about, to refresh the page itself, right? And this is required because if you go to the home page, if you go to self-service page, where we have so many components, and some of these are the record level items coming up here, like the news item or the request items, etc. If you do not refresh it, automatically you have to go ahead and manually do a F5 and get all these information. So this gear item, here you can go ahead and decide a refresh interval for your page to refresh and show the
Mm-hmm.
latest data here, right? So use this to put a refresh interval. right? And this is refresh now button. When you hit refresh now, it will give you the refresh data. Okay, so we talked about the self-service page, we talked about system administration page. Let's go into ITIL home page. It will be majorly kind of reporting, right? So again,
Mm-hmm.
some reports, users by locations, open items by escalation, right? My group work, my work, ITIL summary count, how many critical tasks are there, how many overdue tasks are there, how many incident opened in last which is previous to 1 week, reports of this kind, right? And again, you can customize and put more reports into it, right? We will see how we create reports later, but this is how you have this view here on ITIL page, right? So on ITIL page, you can go ahead and quickly see a summary of it. Okay, I have 22 critical tasks. Why are these tasks not getting closed, right? So you have to do a root cause of it. Why is there that 22 tasks are pending or 12 tasks are overdue tasks? If the tasks are overdue, there could be a SLA breach. You understand SLA, Michael?
Yeah, service level agreement, right?
Yeah, yeah. So if the task are overdue, there could be SLA breach, and that could lead to escalations and customer dissatisfaction, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
have to investigate and find out why the tasks are overdue, what can be done to get those tasks completed in the specified time frame, etc. Right?
Right.
So you get all these information as summary here on the ITIL page. You can utilize. Let's go to the discovery dashboard. Discovery is a feature uh, for see as the name suggests, discovery is automatic probing of assets within organization, right? So whatever
Mm-hmm.
asset you have within your organization, discovery is a program that will run, and based upon the IP addresses and different network parameters, it will fetch out all the details of the assets within your IT environment and then store it
Mm-hmm.
within your CMDB, right? So this is discovery. This is an automated process of getting information about your networked interface and storing that somewhere within your CMTP, right? So that's discovery. So this discovery page will show you reports related to all the discovery activities that you are doing. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Enterprise CMDB. We talked about the CMDB, different types of assets within the enterprise. So when you have those assets created into the CMDB, you will see these classification, and these are basically tables that you are seeing here. So let's quickly
Mm-hmm.
talk about this. So your enterprise could have application servers. Your enterprise will have servers as in hardware. Your application will have database instances, networks,
Mm-hmm.
business services, infrastructure services like email, FTP, directory services, and others, and some base items like servers, computers, storage, printers, communication devices, accessories, computer peripherals, and software. Right? And these items that we see here on the CMDB page, these items will be linked together some way, right? There could be one-to-one relationship or one-to-many relationship or many-to-many relationship that you will see between these items. But these relationships are there. These relationships are there within enterprise CMDB, right? So this page will give you a landing area where you can see information about your CMDB, your assets within the enterprise. All right? You're still with me, Michael? Have I lost you?
No. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're breaking up very badly. Can you try now?
Maybe is
Oh no, you're still breaking up.
internet. I can hear. Let me that one having issue. Let me change.
So let's go to this ServiceNow performance. So
Mm-hmm.
when you land on this page, basically it will give you, the health information about your instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
How healthy your instance is, what has been its performance for 1 hour, maybe. Yeah. There's a one hour time frame that you are seeing here, and for 1 hour, what is your active threats on this instance, the sessions that were initiated, you know, uh, session wait queue, per minute transaction that we are doing on this instance, response time, per
Mm-hmm.
minute transaction, etc. So all these information and graphical representation will come here, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
and this is important to have here, because if you're see, this developer instance does not have any load right now. I'm the only sole
Mm-hmm.
user of this instance, right? But think from the perspective, if your organization is big and there are 1,000 users coming in on the ServiceNow instance, right? So how well your system performs is something that system administrators and performance administrators will be looking into, right? So this page
Mm-hmm.
is for those people to see how this performance has been, performance for this instance has been doing. So this information will be displayed here, right? You
Mm-hmm.
can have different time span and you can fetch out data and show, see how the system has been performing, right? As a system administrator, I'll see there was an active thread here, which is a huge spike here, right? And it is taking
Mm-hmm.
close to 300 milliseconds for getting processed, right? So if it is even bigger than this, I might like to look into a retrospect why it is that we are having so much of a spike, right? Stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
System diagnostics. When you have system diagnostic here, you will see different information related to your ServiceNow instance, and again, information like how many logged in users are there, right? Um, uh,
Mm-hmm.
the name of the cluster it is into, um, and different other information which is too technical from the server administration perspective, right? Memory, JVM memory, CPU uptime, CPU time, etc. Right? So these
Mm-hmm.
are slightly technical into the system administrator, the server administration. So people who manage this and who manage the performance of the systems will be interested in these kind of pages, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to knowledge management, so this is a page that was created to get a report on the knowledge management application. And knowledge management we talked about as in when you have when you have to create documentations and maintain wiki pages or something, some user manuals or something, right? So you create articles within your knowledge management application here, right? So the
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
reporting on different knowledge management application tables that you have will be displayed here and gives you a good idea of what is the state of your knowledge management application. To throw you an idea, I'll show you what these heads are. It says knowledge ratings for past 30 days, right? So I do not have any average rating for past 30 days knowledge management articles or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is a report. This has been created as a report and you're the reporting section in ServiceNow and you have brought that report here on this page, right? Similarly,
Mm-hmm.
you have this knowledge created in past 30 days. So here we see that in the past 30 days, a total of 4 knowledge articles were created, out of which one was in general category, the other one was known error, and the third one was news, right? And
Yeah.
and two of them are still in draft stage, which are known error. So draft stage, knowledge articles will not be published and will not be viewed by you just can't access that, right? So stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You have all this information. You can see, find out at a single converging point what is going in with your knowledge management application. So for that, you have this specific page for knowledge management. Uh, right? So that's knowledge management. You have other reports coming in here. So you can create different reports on knowledge management tables and create this landing page and see it here. Now go to workflow operations. So the custom applications that we were talking about, there could be workflows attached to those custom applications. right? So you could go ahead and build a workflow. You could go ahead and create an application, and then you can attach those workflows and applications. So based upon some of the actions you do on the form or of application, the workflow in the backend will be triggered, and if it is to get approval from different actors within the system, it will get approval from different actors or different approvers, and then initiate the process, and that will be carried away there. All right.
Yep.
So, so this workflow dashboard will give you, how many workflows were initiated or created, how many workflows are active, etc. Information like this. See workflows by state this month, age, workflow, context, etc. Right? So we'll see in details when we go there, but just wanted to give you an overview. Top searches page will give you what are the things that we searched. So remember we searched for Rahul yesterday, right? So a day view of the top searches shows that the top text that I searched yesterday was Rahul, right? If I go and search Michael, right, nothing is here, right? If I search Michael and if
Here,
I,
Rahul, a quick question.
sure.
When you say workflow, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, I have an application, right? That is that's doing VM provisioning, for example,
Okay.
for customers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are, for example, is using the Cisco ITIL
Mm-hmm.
to perform VM provisioning.
Mm-hmm.
So in the workflow, this VM provisioning workflow is one of the many we have.
Mm-hmm.
So this system will tell me among all the workflows I have, which exactly is running and which area needs maybe enhancement or improvement. Does it tells me those kind of things?
Yeah, it will give you. So see, I opened a sample workflow for you. If I
Okay,
go to the
okay, okay. Yeah.
workflow, if I go to this workflow and I need to see the workflow properties. This contextual menu is not coming. Wait a second. I'll just show you by creating a new workflow.
No.
When you create a new workflow, you associate this workflow to a table, right? And the table is so if you are doing VM provisioning, so you must have some application name like VM provisioner or automated VM provisioning application, right? So you will go ahead
Yes.
and create record in the automated VM provisioning application and put your details about what VM has to be provisioned, right? Whether Linux or Windows or whatever information that you want to put into, right? And you submit
Yeah.
that record. The moment you submit that record, or you submit that request goes into some sort of table. Let's assume the table is access control. So this access control table contains information about the VM that you have provisioned, right? Now, the moment you push that information into that table, this workflow will get kicked out if you do not have any specific condition applied to it. See, there is condition. So you can go ahead and put conditions based upon the both based upon the fields that you have within the table. For example, let's take a very meaningful. So let's assume that you have VM provision record. So let's assume that you have a table which is VM provision record, right? And you have fields like record ID, and then you have another field which is VM detail, you may like to have a so this VM could have a association to physical server as well, right? So if you want
Mm,
to put some information about the physical server, so you can have a column like this, right? And then
mm,
so let's assume these are the things that in the table. So this VM
mm,
provision record. So when you and you have a form attached to it, right? The form,
yeah,
the application that you built. So you have a form attached to it. You have a VM provision record table. So when you create the workflow, you specify the VM provision. So this table, VM provision record table, you will choose it from here. VM provision. So whatever table name is, you will choose it from
yeah,
here. And when you choose it from here, the related columns will appear in the condition section here, down here, right? And then you will put a condition if you want to, right? This is not mandatory, but if you want to, you will put a condition. For example, if I go to change request, or yeah, we have this Azure virtual machine. So let's pick this one,
okay.
right? So I have this Azure virtual machine table here, and when I open up this one, let's look into the table. CPUs, can print, category,
Mm,
computer name, cost center, cost center, cost currency, etc. DNS name, department. So I'll say if the department is IT, I only want to honor those requests that come from the IT department. So I'll only provision VMs if the request is coming from IT department, and there could be some more filters or conditions associated to it, right? And then we create the workflow on top of it. So the idea is when
mm,
you create a workflow, you identify which table it should be attached to, and the moment you attach a particular table to the workflow, you also attach that to some application, right? The VM provisioning application. And then in the
mm,
condition section, you put that information on what condition this workflow should be kicked. If there is another condition that's satisfied, there should be a different workflow that should be attached to it, right? So based upon different conditions, automatically the workflows will be fetched out and do different activities that you have assigned on the workflow. Does that answer
mm.
your question?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's okay. Yeah.
Mid-server dashboard is something that we'll be doing later. Mid-server is again a program hosted on some other server. We'll talk about it mid-server later and understand what this is. So these are the dashboards. I wanted to talk about these dashboards because you must have these idea of what's where and
Mm,
where you can find these information, etc. So
mm,
that's why I discussed about it. So with that, let's move into some system properties,
okay.
right? So if you have to play with the system properties of the instance, go to the application navigator and type in system properties. The moment you type in system properties, you see something coming up in this area. The top level item that you see is known as application. So you have system properties application here, and the child items to this application is known as module, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have applications and modules. So you have two applications, you have these different modules. Now, so there is a thumb rule to ServiceNow application. Every application in ServiceNow is attached to some sort of table, right?
Mm-hmm.
ServiceNow is just about tables. If you understand how tables are organized, what is the structure of
Just
the
like
table?
a database table,
Sorry?
like a database table.
Yeah, database table.
Yeah, sure, sure,
So
definitely. Yeah.
everything in ServiceNow has a database table. For example, this system
Oh,
properties, this is an application. This application will be there. There will be a table associated to this application, right? And the table is sys underscore properties. So this is the table, right? And to access this
mm,
table, what you can do is, if you know the name of the table, you can type in sys underscore properties, and you can do dot list dot list. The moment you
mm-hmm.
do that, it will open up the table of records here, a list of records here and show you all the properties from the system properties table, right? So this is how the table will look like. This is a table. This contains some columns. This and that that table contains 1071 records, right? So there are
Yeah.
1071 records created already into this system properties table, meaning there are 1071 properties that identified within this instance, right? So this is all about tables. So any application that you are talking about, that information goes into some sort of table. If you are talking about workflows, there are tables associated to workflows as well, right? We will be coming back to it.
Yes.
Right now, we want to go into system properties. Now, when you go to system properties, let's just start with the basic configuration module. When you open a basic configuration module, you will see information like or input fields like the page header caption. So see, this is the page header caption here. I have kept this training instance 2 and then it's Helsinki, right? So same text, if you want to change it, it changes here, right? So to customize this, why is it not saving? To customize it, you come here, and update it, the text will be changed, right? If you have to change
So,
the
sorry, would you go back and show me how we reach into this page, to the customizing
you
page?
type in system properties
Oh, yeah, got you. Yeah,
and you go to basic configuration.
basic configuration. Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Yes, yeah, yeah,
then see, this is my company logo here. You can put your own,
yeah.
the instance that you are using, it might have your company logo there. So if you want to change as an administrator, you can go ahead and upload the banner image and that will be reflected here using this banner image. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
System time zone settings. Use this to change the time zone settings here. Daytime formatting. Use this to change the daytime formatting. Time format only. Banner text color, if you want to change the banner text color here, which is gray, if you want to change to something else, see the color of the banner has changed. Stuff like that,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Now let's go to basic configuration UI 16. We talked about UI 16 yesterday, right?
Yeah.
This button and that UI. So if you have to change something on the UI 16, right, you can go ahead and change all of these stuffs here. Like on the UI 16, you have to put this header caption. You want to upload logos, or you want to put a banner image. You want to put a date format, header background color, a banner text color, etc. So this is majorly the CSS stuff, the CSS kind of thing that you are doing, the colors, etc.
Right.
for UI 16 page. Let's go to my company module, right?
Yeah.
When you go to My Company module, you can create your own company here, right? Right? You can create your company record, and it will create records within your company table, right? And here you can go ahead and you can create a company record. You can put your product models associated to it. What type of products you want to show, as part of the portfolio of the company, etc. So information like this can be customized here. These are the properties available to you. Go to UI properties module, and then this is quite an extensive UI property module where you have different stuffs. You may like to go through it and see what can be done into it. But let's read through some of these items. Right. First one is show names instead of email addresses in activity headers of email. Right. If you want to show names instead of email addresses in the activity header, you have to go ahead and yes, no, tick or untick it, right?
Mm.
Rows that can view email in the activity formatter when including sent received emails, right? So
Yeah.
only people with ITIL role will be able to do this, right? You can go ahead, put a comma separated value here and put admin or any other role to do this kind of stuff. So you can identify which are the people who will be doing this, who will be able to view the email in the activity formatter, right?
Mm. Yeah.
Now, assign to image used in activity formatter. So there is a user image that you are assigning to within the activity formatter. So this image will be
Mm.
displayed there. Likewise, there are different logos or diff images that you are displaying on different activity formatters, etc.
That's correct.
Okay. Now you
Mm.
have a button of show, save, insert and stay buttons on the form. If you go to the change request form or maybe incident form, that's easier one to navigate.
Mm.
If you go to this form, you have submit, resolve incident and user information buttons, right? When you right click,
Yeah.
you have save, right? If I go back to system properties, go to UI properties, scroll down a bit and I tick yes, and then I scroll down and save it.
Mm.
I go back to the incident form, open up the incident record. I now see this save button, which is in addition to the three buttons we had already, submit, resolve, and user information. When I right click, it should display the save and insert as well. Insert as well.
Mm.
System, properties, go to UI properties, save, insert and stay. It's ticked. It should be there. Um, let's go to some other application and see if it is there. When I hit Neo, save is there. Or maybe this is for some different property, right? System. Wait a second. Let me look into this property. Show save, insert and save button from forms. There is one more property related to this. Yeah, this is the one I'm talking about. Allow the user
Okay.
to insert and stay. I'm saving it. So there are several properties. We need to understand what property is used for what UI action or UI stuff like this. So save, right click on it. Bring Yeah. See, on the open record, you see insert and stay. When you right click, you get save,
Oh.
you get insert and stay, right? If you
Okay.
take them out, you will not get these items here. So
These items. Yeah.
you are controlling the behavior of your UI using those properties, right?
Yep. Yep.
So, this is what you can do using these properties, right? You can control the behavior of UI properties.
Yeah.
We'll have to look into what this property is doing, right? We'll have to look into. But these are related
Mm.
things, right? So this is the way you go ahead and customize the properties. Let's look into some more. The next one is enable right click to edit context menu on the application in the navigator.
Navigator.
If you right click in and do edit module, so it is allowing you to edit the context menu. So
Mm.
these kind of stuff is allowed by doing this, right? Allow attachment drag and drop in supported HTML browsers. Um, if you go to incident, if you go to, so I'm trying to find out if there is some attachment. It's not work with attachments. So let's open up. I'm opening up. So there is. So this is the attachment we are talking about. So
Oh, yeah.
if you are able to allow drag and drop and put this somewhere else or not is controlled by that property,
Mm.
right? So you're really controlling, very much of UI behaviors by using these properties here, right? Now this one is
Yeah.
show buttons at the end of the form. If you go to see right on this form, I have this save button towards the bottom of the page, right? Likewise, if I go to incident, open a new incident, I have a submit button, save button here, but then you may also like to put some buttons here to save it, etc. Right? So that property is giving you the ability to go ahead and enable or disable the buttons that you want to show and submit on the form.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
Uh, so this is a pretty exhaustive list. A lot of items here. If you want to play with the CSS or the fonts, you can go ahead and change this uh, font listing here. If you want to put some bold, italicized, underlined formatting to several stuffs, you can go ahead and do that here. Uh, if you want to minify URLs, because each of these pages we are opening up, this is having some URL. If you go to incident form, and if I am opening this incident here, for example, I am opening incident 4, right? So this incident 4 will have a specific URL.
Mm.
See, this URL will take you to the incident record only. When I open
Mm.
this will take me to that record, right? And the URL is the URL that I was able to copy is this long, right? So
Mm-hmm.
within the system properties customization, you can also put this option to allow administrators to allow the system to minify the longer URLs, because not all of the browsers are capable of handling URLs which are lengthier, somewhere around 1000 characters or 1024 characters or more. So if the URL length is more than 1024 characters, browsers will try to ignore that, right? So
Yeah.
and the URLs that you generate here contains a lot of sysids and information like that, right? So if your system is if you are trying to design your system to handle even longer URLs, then you can utilize the properties within here in ServiceNow, which will allow you to minify the longer URLs, and it will use a minified version, and then you can handle all those URLs, etc. Right? So
Mm.
these
Yeah.
kind of properties are also available here. I'll encourage you to go ahead and look into all of these items and see what these are doing. Right?
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Now, mobile UI properties, again, same stuff, but for mobile view, right? Again, if you go to the incident form or any other form, I'm onto the incident form, use this contextual menu here. Okay, I'll have to go to new record. See, I'm choosing this view and I'm choosing mobile view, right? There are different views. Out of this, I'm going to choose mobile view. Same incident record, I'm opening it. When I open it, see, it's a different view now. It's a mobile view. And that's because
Mm.
the moment this page was designed, it was also designed to be mobile compatible, right? So here, when you are opening it in a mobile view, you are seeing that there is a single column page that you see here, right? Items are organized for mobile compatibility so that you can easily access these fields and see and understand these fields on the mobile handheld devices, right? So for that, you have this mobile view. You can have other views as well. So default view is the one that we were seeing actually, having a lot more fields here. So this one is default, having two column fields, decorated on the page, stuff like that, right?
Mm.
If you have to if you have to customize the look and feel of the mobile view,
Mm-hmm.
so you will go to mobile UI properties and start customizing using these options available,
Mm-hmm.
right? For tablet UI
Yeah.
properties, you will go and do for tablets, right? Whatever you want to
Yeah.
display on the tablet, you will be doing this property here. CSS gives you again the look and feel, what color theme, what banner theme, what fonts you want to show, stuff like that. What is the font size that you want to show to the show to the users on this instance? What is the font family that you want to use, etc. So all these information related to CSS will be utilized using CSS module. If you go to system, properties related to system will appear, right? And properties related to system timings, etc. Prompt user to confirm a logout request, etc. So, so this is when I do log out and I save it,
Mm-hmm.
it will try to get a confirmation from me if I want to log out or not. Stuff like that. I didn't. It didn't. Yeah. Now it is
Mm-hmm.
asking. It is
Yeah.
asking me
Mm-hmm.
if I want to log out, right? So these kind of behaviors related to system will be there within the system properties and system module.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So go and look into these properties as well. Email properties I'll talk about. When you go to email properties, see, within your instance, your email property will not be activated by default. The SMTP services will not be activated by default. You have to go ahead and activate those properties so that your system is able to send out emails and receive emails from outside systems, right? Both can be
Mm-hmm.
done. So you have to do incoming and outgoing configuration here on the email properties. So outbound email configuration, inbound email configuration, right? You have
Yeah.
to enable email sending, enable. You have to tick it yes, yes. Then you can do send all email to test email. So you can put an email ID where all of the emails will go, right, for testing purpose, etc. Right? Append
Mm-hmm.
timestamp. So all these email related properties you can put it here. So
Yeah.
by doing that, then you have import export properties. We'll be talking about when we talk about import export at a later point of time. But this is the area, if you go to system properties, these are the relevant areas which will allow you to control the behaviors of different components, different sections of the screen, and control it by using the system properties.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and all of these
Yeah.
records that we were doing, all of these records go into which table? We just talked about it, sys
Yeah. System.
underscore
Yeah.
properties table.
His property table. Yeah.
Right? Sys underscore
Yeah.
properties table. See, you must remember these tables. So some of the basic tables we must remember so that we
Oh, the
can
name of the
manage.
table?
Yeah, name of the tables. Right? It will give us.
Oh, okay.
It will. It will allow us to quickly find out what information is stored where. Otherwise, we'll have to go ahead and first of all find among the
Mm.
table what table you should be referring to, etc. Right? So some
Yeah.
basic tables,
Yeah.
core tables will be remembering what information is going into what table, and it will be very easier for you to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it for today. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave this session for today on this note. If you have any questions,
Mm-hmm.
you may ask now.